Is that enough?
Boy, we do have armor not to get the launch here. Throw will finish the job, and that is 3-1 NoGreen advancing winner's side.
I have.
Got away with it.
So sweep back the words down, folks too. Still the turn. Has to have the break. That could be Burrito's last chance. Can he make a comeback? Or it's NoGreen. Double down one. Sweep. That's one.
Oh!
He did not backdash right there.
With the only space he had, he got out of the range of the normal. A miracle. But actually, and unbelievably, why did he have the audacity to not? Oh!
Not gonna eat the damage. Oh my god, Han's not blocking. Han's not blocking!
Han is getting next.
Oh
Is this your key?
no. Slam dunk.
Ball is blocked.
No green. No.
GG.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Poseidcast. With me today, I am joined by one of the best General Shao players in the world. Got 9th at Texas Showdown, 13th at Frosty Frostings, and 17th at Combo Breaker. This dude is an absolute monster on the sticks. Please help me in welcoming ELG's own NoGreen. NoGreen, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm alright. How about yourself? I appreciate the kind words in your intro for sure.
Of course, man. Dude, I am doing great, man. I'm happy to have you on the mic to hear what what got you into Mortal Kombat, and how you created your style and all that stuff. And I'm sure we'll definitely get into it. But as I said, my first question is, what got you into competitive Mortal Kombat? I feel like everyone has a different thing that got them into it.
Well, always, when like Mortal Kombat got popular in the in the YouTube scene, like the early YouTube days, like obviously I was watching all the like competitive tournaments and I was keeping up with the scene, but me personally, what actually got me into Mortal Kombat, so my older brother was a big Mortal Kombat fan growing up. So, we had all the games, all the old games, and we would play, and I was kind of younger. So I was like, I wasn't competent enough to grasp, understand what a fighting game was all about at the time.
I feel that.
But when Mortal Kombat 9 came around, that was around the time that I was actually starting to grasp, just the general concept of a fighting game.
Yeah, because it could be a bit abstract for sure.
Yeah. So especially being as young as I was, me and my brother, we would play. I wasn't supposed to, but
yeah, classic.
We would play anyway, and he would always just demolish me. And the type of relationship me and my brother had, he would he would go at me. He'd make fun of me for
Talk
sure.
shit,
Like,
yeah, of course.
yeah, just irritating me when I would lose. Like you suck, blase, and we always argue like whenever we'd fight because I always lost. I couldn't beat him. Using Sindel and MK9, which was just a terrible thing to play against. But so what that did was that prompted me to then tell myself that when the next game came around, Mortal Kombat 10, he would not be able to beat me. And so it was MKX came out and I just went full force ahead, and we would play and he would just get scraped. He wasn't able to beat me. And so from there I kind of took that, and then I stepped into the online world and started to test my skill against other players like me. And X wasn't where I took my first steps competitively, but it was where I started to kind of gain that certain knowledge and prowess, in just NRS games specifically. Because I played other games as well, but just staying on topic, MKX was kind of like me breaking through that barrier, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and becoming a competent player.
Yeah, I get it.
But I was never like I wasn't like super cracked or
Okay.
anything. Like
Mm.
I was just like, you know, just a regular player.
Casual.
And funny enough, what I would do, what I still do, honestly, and it actually, and you know, I preach this a lot.
Mm.
I think it really does help to understand how to defeat the very hard CPU.
Mm.
I
Okay.
think that in Mortal Kombat X, I used very hard CPU to kind of sharpen my blade in a sense.
Mm.
Um, because just like you know, Mortal Kombat X was such a fast-paced game. Like I would play online, like my reactions weren't there. Like I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have like you know, obviously there. I don't think there wasn't frame data in X, was there?
Yeah, I think there was. I think
There
that
was.
might have been the first one, or nine. I don't think nine had it. You had to like they
Yeah,
like
I think not had it.
people like found it though. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
I'm pretty
yeah,
sure X
yeah.
had it though.
So yeah, I wasn't really I wasn't really like worried about frame data or things
Yeah.
like that. You know, like
Mm.
the advanced aspects
Yeah.
of you know Mortal Kombat. I was kind of just a base level player, but I
Doing your
used a very
combos.
hard CPU. Yeah, I used a very hard CPU to kind of you know sharpen my blade and teach me how to you know not only because obviously execution is a big part of Mortal Kombat. You know,
Mm.
once you get the touch, you need to be able to execute and convert so
Mm.
that you can capitalize on every touch. But even more so, it kind of teaches you it kind of helps you to develop game plans in a sense.
Mm.
You'll develop a game plan, and you know, very hard CP, like very hard Sub Zero was just overheading you, and he's sliding when you're not
Mm.
blocked. So you know,
Mm.
it'll test your reactions, and you'll
Yeah.
gain reactions, and just certain and overall, and then matchup knowledge too. Like
Yeah,
if you
like
don't just
respecting
play
certain
one,
options. Sure.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If you don't just play against one, you know, like I'm not just playing against very hard Sub Zero. Like you know,
No.
I'll switch it up because after a while, you know, you download like
Yeah.
you know Sub
CPU is
Zero.
gonna do certain options. Yeah.
Yeah. So I used that, but I never was like a great player in
Mm.
X. And 11 came around, and
Mm.
that was like my stomping ground.
Mm.
I know life 11. I love that game. If
Yeah,
you
me too.
ask me, and I know people, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I still think MK11 is one of top three MK games of all time.
I
I'll
loved
admit.
MK11 too,
Just
so I'm not gonna give you
just
any shit for it.
just overall,
Yeah.
yeah, just overall like cohesiveness and just being a full game. Like
Mm.
there was so much that that game had to offer, but aside from that, you know, I kind of was still in Mortal Kombat 11. I was just a Combat League demon.
Mm.
Like, you know, I just no life Combat League all
Mm.
day. And like I said, I was a Combat League demon. I
Mm.
still wasn't like a crazy player.
Yeah.
And MK11, I played the whole roster. It didn't start that way, but you
Mm.
know the game it lasted for so long. I ended up
Yeah.
uh ultimately playing the full roster. I actually in 11 I was a counter pick type player. Like
Yeah.
in Combat League, if I went in and I knew that you know it was a bad matchup or I didn't like how the matchup felt,
Mm.
I would just switch to another. I would just
Mm.
switch to who I felt more comfortable with in the matchup.
Mm.
And you know that's what I always liked about being able to play the entire roster.
Mm.
But
Super nice.
you know, towards the end of MK11, right, I was
Mm.
starting to build that sort of nuance as a player,
Mm.
right? And I could feel that I was becoming, you know, an advanced, you know,
Mm.
not a top player, but a top percentage player, you know, like
Yeah.
I was in that, you know, in that area where I was starting to get to that pro level.
Mm.
And so, but with MK11, I had a love-hate relationship because it lasted for so long.
Yeah. So
Naturally, it
I
lasts
feel
for
that.
so long. You play different games. Like it
Yeah.
would get deleted and re-downloaded a lot. Like I'd take
That's
like
right.
a year break or a year break, and then
Yeah.
I'd come back to it.
Mhm.
Um, so, but it felt like every time I came back to it, I was better than I was before,
Mhm.
which
Sometimes
was
that little
what
break
kept
is what
me.
you need to like get a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
better.
for sure. Yeah. So
Mm.
you know, I would take the breaks and I would come back and I would love the game even more than I did the last time.
Mhm.
And you know that kind of helped me to stay active and just you know still just be that Combat League demon that I was. And then as you know, Mortal Kombat 1 gets announced, and it's
Oh.
like, okay, I'm still like obviously I'm excited because Mortal Kombat is my favorite franchise, but like I wasn't necessarily like I didn't know what the game what cards were in store, if you will. for Mortal Kombat. You know, I kind of like I knew I was at that level, but
Mm.
another thing, a big part of why I didn't get into competitive also in Mortal Kombat 11 was because, and it's not really an excuse, but I played Xbox, so like I didn't really come across the players. You know, most of the
Yeah.
competitive scene were PlayStation based.
PlayStation.
You know,
Yep.
so I wasn't
100%.
playing. You know, crossplay was a thing, but I still wasn't playing like the players that were um at that level, right?
Yeah.
So I could never test my skills against somebody who was that good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
100%.
the only person that I recognized, the only person that I played with or against in 11 on Xbox
Mm.
was Bandinos, because I
Bandinos.
yeah,
Yeah.
they told me that Bando was Xbox at first,
Yeah.
and Bando was one of my nemesises in
Yeah.
Combat League, and it felt like every time I was back on MK11, he was
It was
back
back
on
on
MK11.
MK11. Yeah.
Him in Combat League, I'd be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. So Bando was really the only player at that of that caliber that I could kind of test my own skills against.
Mhm.
So, um, when I switched to PlayStation, which is completely unrelated to MK, I
Mhm.
switched to PlayStation just so I could play God of War, because I was always
Fair enough. You can't
yeah,
get that on
I was
Xbox. No.
always an Xbox player and the
Yeah.
Spider-Man games, of course, but
Yeah.
I was always an Xbox player, so I never got to play the old God of Wars and that
Uh-huh.
stuff. So I was just Ragnarok came out, it just looked too crazy, so I had
Yeah.
to grab a PlayStation.
That's fair.
And yeah, so MK1, fast forward to Mortal Kombat 1 coming out,
Mm.
and I'm still just a Combat League demon,
Mm.
playing the game as I am,
Mm.
and I come across shout out to my brother, Love My Rose. Love My Rose is also a competitive player. He won the first local in Canada for
Mm.
Mortal Kombat 1. Shout out my boy. He's on the team, ELG.
Oh,
He's
really?
just inactive. Yeah, he's
Oh,
just inactive. He doesn't really play that much anymore.
yeah.
But yeah, so I came across him in Combat League, and
Mm.
we didn't kick it off at first, but the relationship for sure was a toxic one. Like we'd
Yeah.
play league and we hated each other, right? So one day Mike, and we played friendlies,
Uh-huh.
and we ended up becoming cool through the
Yeah.
friendlies. Like we became friends from hating each other. But to make a long story short, he was friends with Mari.
Okay.
And I joined the party one night, and
Mm.
Mari was in there. This is my first time ever meeting Mari.
Mm.
And we kind of I joined the party for a toxic reason, but it went from toxic to actually like good vibes. So that's where we kicked it off, and then Mari turned into one of the people that I would actually run casuals with the most
Mm.
on Mortal Kombat 1. Mari and Rose and a player named Ghost we used to play with. Dude, we would just get on every day after work, and I'd play with them for hours, dude, all
Mm.
night. And I owe those guys, those three guys, I owe those guys literally so much, because they single-handedly, all three of them, helped me to cross that barrier
Yeah.
and become and get to that pro level. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah. No, I mean, Mari is
Um,
definitely one of those players that if you run games with all the time, you're gonna get better because
yeah, yeah,
or you're
yeah.
just gonna get your ass stomped every night. Like,
Yeah, and that was prime Mari when he was
yeah,
winning everything.
yeah, I
So
remember
yeah,
that.
so
Yeah.
Mari, Rose, and Ghost, they had me cracked, man. Very
Mm.
great players. I love those boys. Yeah, from there, I
Mm.
obviously, before I joined ELG, I wasn't sure that I wanted to take that leap competitively, and
Mm-hmm.
actually go all in.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, excuse me. I didn't know if I wanted to go all in, competitively. I kind of like I knew that I was good, but I would tell myself, like, am I that good?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've always been that guy in my friend group that was like known as like a crazy ass MK player. Like my
Mm-hmm.
friends would literally have me play people, and my friends would literally put up money against people, because you tell somebody like you're good at Mortal Kombat,
It's
they're
like,
like, I'll
oh
kick your ass.
yeah, yeah, yep,
Yeah,
yep, yep.
yeah, yeah, but they didn't know that. They
They didn't
didn't
know.
actually
Yeah,
know. Yeah, they
yeah,
didn't know. So,
yeah,
yeah, my friends would literally put up money for me to play against guys who would talk shit in MK, and I'd take their money. But
yeah. Let's go.
yeah, that's another story. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, man, I wasn't sure,
Mm,
and I think my first ever tournament win
mm.
was Run the Inferno. Run the Inferno was the first ever tournament that I won.
Mm.
I would, for the
Start to leave.
longest, I would join. Yeah, and it was really just because I had never branched out and played into different tournaments. Because, and shout out to Destroyer, because Destroyer was one of the people who I watched on YouTube coming up as well a lot.
Yeah, he got a lot of people in the scene for sure.
Yeah, he was definitely keeping the scene alive. But yeah, man, I would join Champions of the Realms, the qualifiers, dude, and I would always drown in pools. It was like, like my first few runs, actually, Melina was my bracket demon character. I would
As
get double.
Shao, yeah, that was like, that was a
Yes,
hard
I would
matchup for a
literally
little
get
while.
double eliminated by that character, dude.
Yeah.
Like I'd join bracket, like I'd play, and it'd be like, I'd win a couple matches and winners, and then I'd come across Dexy Dog, and I'd get sent to losers, and then I'd win a couple and losers, and then now I gotta fight Dexy Dog again. Or earlier, like before Hourglass was really like before he
The
was really
top
making
player.
waves. Yeah, before he was the Melina player, there was a Melina player, crazy Melina player by the name of Boutry 50.
Boutry 50?
Melina,
Yeah, I know 350, yeah.
Melina Jack's player. And dude, he was also my bracket demon for a while. I could not best that team, bro.
Yeah, he's good.
But yeah, dude, I would join Champions of the Realms. I just drown in pools, bro, and I just be, I'd get discouraged, and it was like, and what I would tell myself, I'm losing to top players. Like every time I would get eliminated, like it would just so ironically be like Dexy Dog, or or early Han Rashid, or there was one week where I lost to where Gambler eliminated me. This was back when Gambler was on Johnny Goro. This was early MK, early MK. But yeah, so I decided to branch out because I saw we were watching Mari play in the Inferno, and I'm like, dude, let me join. I'm like, okay, this is another tournament that I could join. Let me join this. And I think my first two attempts, I think my first two attempts, I think I drowned in pools the first time, and then I think my second time I made top 8. And then my third time entering, I finally won against oh my god, it's a Natara player. My first win was against a crazy Natara player from Xbox. This was when crossplay was like kind of freshly introduced. He's a great Natara player. It's not why I don't remember his name. There's just so many guys. But needless to say, I won my first tournament there, and that's when I had OT in the chat. He was like, when you gonna join the team? And I'm like, and I'm right there. I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, I'll just, I'll go. I went all in from there. So Combo Breaker came around. I linked with them, and actually before I won the Inferno, Combo Breaker happened, and I linked with them with the ELG family, and we played games a little bit, but I wasn't actually able to compete in combo that year. I wanted to, but I wasn't able to because I had to work. So a couple of nights out the weekend, I just drove down to where they were staying at, and we kicked it and played casuals and shit. But after I had left there, I kind of knew that was where my home was. And I knew then, like, it was time for me to stop playing with it and actually take it serious. So yeah, I started taking it serious. I won, and then I won the Inferno, and I still hadn't joined the team at that point. I was still kind of bullshitting, but OT was like, he's like, when you join the team, and I'm like, like I said, okay, let's do it. And since then, I kind of just had that chip on my shoulder. I always was a player that had that chip on my shoulder. I'm pretty sure
I could see. I like when you compete, you definitely have that that killer instinct. I can just tell.
Yeah.
It's just it's just the expressions that some people play they kind of smile and stuff like that, and they're all there. Some people are like you're definitely one of those locked in guys. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
You just want to just beat your opponent. Like I get it.
Definitely, man. It's the art of war for sure. So yeah, man. I started taking the game seriously, and I just got better and better. And I knew I was there when I started winning more tournaments. I was winning the Infernos every season. I was making every top 8 I played in, and things like that. But I had never took that that last step, which is playing offline.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. My first offline was Frosty. placed ninth at Frosty. I gotta break the ninth place curse. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much how I got into competitive Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, dude. I saw. I remember I was at Frosty's right there. Do I think your biggest accomplishment is probably beating me in the napkin bracket right there to make grand
Yeah,
finals, right? That's probably
yeah,
right. Right,
yeah,
being assigned in the napkin
That was
bracket. I'm pretty sure
yeah.
those are the.
That
I
was
mean,
so. I had so much fun, dude. That was a great time.
that was a great event. Yeah, I think like honestly, everyone looks back to that Frosties just because like we all like hung out with like as a community. It was so cool. We ran like the
Yep.
side events and stuff like that, and Napkerback, all this stuff. It was so much fun. I love Frosties. I'm looking forward to hopefully. I think they're doing it again this year. They're probably gonna have MK. They usually do. So
Yeah. No, I'll be there for sure. I'll
yeah.
be there every Illinois offline.
Mm,
I'll be at
yeah.
Frosty, and next year I'll try and do Combo Breaker again.
Yeah.
Just because I love like say what you want about this game specifically, but
Mm,
I just love Mortal Kombat. So
mm.
like call me a sucker or whatever
Yeah.
you want, but
I mean,
bro, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna
I,
play it.
I'm the same way, man. I haven't played a Mortal Kombat and like haven't liked it. Like I mean,
Mm.
I've been playing throughout my whole life, like since I was a kid. And every MK game I've enjoyed, and
Yeah.
I didn't really like. I kind of like MK11 was kind of like my first like competitive game where like I understood what I was doing, and I loved MK11. I played it all the way until MK1 came out, and then
Same.
MK1 came out. I've still been playing it and stuff like that. I still enjoy it. Stuff playing, going to tournaments and stuff like that. Just the thrill of competing is just
Yeah,
so much fun.
for
And then
sure.
you got to play a lot to be good enough to compete and do well. So it's like,
Yeah, to stay sharp. Yeah,
yeah,
man. Hey,
exactly.
that's what I'm suffering from, bro. I gotta start back no life, and bro,
Yeah,
I'm not.
yeah. I feel like I haven't. Have you been doing a bunch of online tournaments recently, or no?
Oh, what? Since Combo Breaker, I
Mm,
haven't really been playing too much
mm,
online, just because I mean,
yeah, I feel I
just
didn't.
gripes and grievances that I have, where we won't get into them, but
Yeah,
I haven't been motivated too much to
yeah.
play online unless it's a team battle or like
Mm,
I was in the Inferno finale
mm,
and the All Stars.
mm.
Great event. Shout out to
The Leaf, and
yeah, shout out,
Liu Kang, King Kick game.
yep,
These guys
yes
are dope.
sir,
Oh.
for sure. So yeah, man, definitely, I feel that 100%.
Yeah, so you said you're planning on going to like just anything that happens in Illinois. You guys have like locals out there. Have you been going to those at all, or?
I haven't been. So yes, to answer your question, yes, we do.
Yeah,
Bacon Lord actually
such
runs
a big one.
our main local for MK1.
Mm,
It's about 45-50 minutes from me.
mm,
Great turnouts.
mm,
Sometimes Sparks comes out and different
mm,
players. But our locals are like Avo,
mm.
Bacon, Cone on Bricks,
Conan Bricks, yeah, I know Conan.
who's recently been making a name for himself.
Yeah. With Conan,
Conan
right?
player.
Yeah,
Yeah, Conan player. He originally it was Sub Zero.
yeah.
It was Sub Cyrax.
Mm,
He hard main Sub Cyrax, but
mm,
he's been feeling the Conan recently, and
yeah.
he actually doesn't play traditional Conan. He
Mm.
plays Conan Movado.
Yeah, I saw that. That was super.
Very great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He took a. I remember he took a game off Dialogue, Combo
Yep.
Breaker. It looked so like
Sure.
he made that team look so cracked for a game, and then of course
Definitely.
Dialogue being the player
Yeah.
he downloaded, but
Dialogue does dialogue things for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, for sure. But like just to get that far is really cool. No, you guys definitely have because Avo's super good player. I know he doesn't really compete that much anymore, at least like online stuff. But when he was
We
doing
also
good.
have there's a few more that I didn't
Oh.
name. We have Ermax,
Ermax? Okay.
Fluffy. Yeah,
Oh,
Ermax. Ermax is local. We have Fluffy,
yeah.
not Fluff, but Fluffy.
The Johnny player, right?
Yeah, Johnny.
Mm,
And a few more that
mm,
are escaping me. But
mm.
yeah, we do have a pretty decent local scene. Not
Nice.
too big.
Mm,
Definitely room for growth. But
mm,
I love those guys over there.
yeah.
Every time I go, it's a great turnout.
Mm,
Unfortunately, I haven't been able to just
yeah.
because, dude, work. And it goes back to what we were saying. I haven't just been able to play as much as I would want to, just
Mm.
because of work and other things like
Yeah,
that. But
just real life, just that obviously
yeah,
always takes priority and stuff. It's just hard to like just prioritize and get on the game all the time. I completely understand it. Like it's just
yeah, which is not an excuse. I'm at that point as a player where I don't necessarily
mm,
have to, be
play every
playing
day. Yeah. Yeah.
to play at that level, but it definitely does help you. I'll say that not playing as much is not making me better.
Yeah,
You know, like
yeah, for sure.
like yeah, I can get back on and you know and I could be no green, but
Yeah.
you know, am I gonna be the best no green or the
Yeah.
sharpest no green? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Uh,
100% makes
so
complete sense.
yeah, definitely just but man, you know, I'm getting back in it, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm funny enough, I'm back. I'm back hungry.
Back hungry again? Okay.
Back
So
hungry.
just
So
that little bit of that motivation. Or that,
yeah,
'cause
definitely I could definitely feel the spark reigniting. I'm waiting for it's been I know Wuxi, shout out to the temple. I
Jasiri.
know they're Jasiri and them. I know they're doing their qualifiers, but I haven't been able to make them unfortunately. But you know, I'm gonna start trying to make the effort.
Yeah.
Definitely start trying to make the effort. And
Yeah.
Demon Lobby is coming back soon. So
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta compete in the lobby.
Of
So
course, yeah. Gotta,
yeah.
gotta show up. Can't let sure OT will be on you guys. Like, why are all these other team players qualifying? Why no ELG in
Yeah.
the finale yet? I know also.
Yeah, we can't let these guys come into our home and take our shit.
Yeah.
So
100%. Yeah, the scene, it's definitely been there isn't as many events going on right now. I mean, I know obviously Aquaman's doing like the team battle thing, which is super cool. I think the Nether League is such super dope idea, but that's not like an open bracket. I think like Sparks is doing like the Thunderdome. He brought that back. And then they said like Wuxi Temple. And other than that, I mean, there's events that pop up I think here and there, but in terms of consistently, we've been on a little bit of a break as well, just because it's like we were just since the beginning of the game we've been running events basically every Sunday, so it's like
understandable. You guys have been going so hard, dude, and I'll say from just from a player standpoint, I really appreciate it because you know at the end of the day, you guys go through a lot of hassle, just to put these events that have beautiful turnouts together and not even really expecting much in return. It's really more so you guys giving back to the players, which I 100% respect and appreciate. So
absolutely.
shout out to all my TOs and my tournament, organizers and whatnot. Yes, sir.
Absolutely, dude. Well, it definitely means a lot when people, thank you, shout you out, because it basically is thankless because you got to show up, run the stream, put up the prize pool, run the bracket, and then like you get some viewership and stuff, and people join your Discord, or whatever, maybe get some thanks. But that's really it. And at the end of the day, that's just, I mean, someone's got to do it, Like,
I mean, hey, if we want to keep the game alive, yes.
Someone's got to do it.
Tour was a great way to do that.
No, absolutely. And like I said, like that goes to even like the local scene. You got like Bacon Lord, we got like Armor running MKMJ, stuff like that.
Oh yes, definitely MKNJ for sure.
Yeah, it's cool. It's just like it's hard to have a local, like not to. I mean, I have one, shout out to a Gamers Nostalgia out in Rochester, but it's like a little over an hour away, and like we'll get like 5, 6, 7 people. I always try like I'm close to where Sunio and Ludi are. I always try to get them to come out, but they don't always want it, which is fair. Just be like, because like it's like your whole Saturday. It's like drive there, set up, play the bracket, go home. It's the whole day just to play in like a small bracket and stuff like that. So, but then it's like if you don't show up, then it dissolves and then you don't have it anymore. So it's
I definitely do feel that. And I think me personally, just to hold myself accountable, I need to go more. I don't go enough.
It's hard. I mean, like, I don't blame anyone, because it's like it would be one thing if it was 10 minutes down the road, but when it's like 45 minutes, it's like it's a whole thing. It's your whole night or your whole weekend, depending on when it is. So it can be hard. But shout out to the TOs for putting on those events for sure. So, obviously, you are one of the best General Shao players in the game. Was that like day one? You just knew you were going to be on General Shao, or did he just fit your play style?
100% day one. I knew. I'm General Shao loyalist here. I mained Shao for about the last year and a half of MK11. I picked Shao up. The back half of MK11.
There's so much fun in 11.
Dude, I just fell in love with the character, and then they because they nerfed him early, and he kind of sucked. He kind of sucked for a while, but then that last patch, that final version of the game, dude,
he was pretty good.
They like lifted. They like let him out. They like let him out of jail. They lifted all his no holds barred. And he was crazy. He was crazy.
I remember you couldn't like special cancel 4-2-3. Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
For some
yeah, no, it
reason,
was
I don't
bad.
know why.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just like that. It was just there for the command grab. Like if your
Yeah.
opponent didn't know, you just just
Grab
command
him.
grab him maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but
Yeah.
yeah, so I really fell in love with General Shao
Mm.
towards the back. I mean, not General Shao, he's
Shao
Shao
Kahn.
Kahn
Shao Kahn
in
11.
11.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fell
Yeah.
in love with Shao Kahn in 11.
Mm.
Part of it you can blame VGY, my goat
Shout out to
VGY, who
VGY, dude.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Shao goat. Doesn't
Hmm.
you don't really see him on Shao too much. I don't think
Yeah.
he's really into him too
Here and
much,
there,
but
but he
yeah,
plays the
11.
cast. Yeah.
Yeah, 11, dude. There was no better Shao in
Mm.
MK11 than video games. Yo, dude,
Yep.
he just made the character look so good. Just his
Yeah.
game plan, his gimmicks, just everything. He just made
Yeah. His movement.
S tier.
I remember
Yeah, it's
watching
oh,
VGY like week one movement. He was flying. I was like, bro. I
yeah,
found out what
dude.
a wave
He
dash
yeah,
was real quick. Like,
yeah. Yes. And even still, his movement is so
yeah.
crazy. He's evolved as a player, so his movement in this game, and you're a lot more free movement wise in MK1. So
Mm,
his movement is definitely cracked in this game for
mm,
sure. But yeah, dude, VGY,
mm,
dude, he was my motivation, my
yeah.
main motivation for playing Shao. I kind of just tried to emulate how he would play with
Mm.
him,
It's
and
a
I
good
just
person to
fell in
emulate.
love.
Yeah.
Yeah, and became a Shao man, dude,
Yeah.
and MK1 got announced, and
Oh,
they
the
were doing
character
the
reveals.
character
Yeah.
announcements, yeah, where they would reveal a few characters in a trailer. And dude, they revealed Shao, bro. I lost my mind. That just made and then dude, I think Shao Kahn is cool, but dude, I think the MK1 General Shao design is just second to none, dude. I think it's the best design because what it is, even aside from the design, in my opinion, being the best, it's his best. It's the best period of his life, like
Mhm.
because yeah, we always got to see him when he was Khan, but we didn't get to
Yeah.
see
The final
him
form.
before,
Yeah.
hungry, at
Yeah,
his hunger.
exactly.
Like this is a
Yeah.
hungry
Trying to
Shao. Like
punch
he's
up, you know what I
eager.
mean? He wasn't
Yeah,
punching
yeah, yeah.
down, he's punching up now. Yeah.
Yes, yes. This is an eager Shao. He's
Yeah.
trying to make his way toward the throne. So
Yeah.
I definitely think this is the coolest iteration of Shao we've gotten so far.
Cool, man. That's cool.
Yes,
Is
sir.
it like you, because he's a very like mix heavy character, or like,
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, he has the range and stuff like that. He's definitely a very particular style. The style just mesh with you, or did you kind of just
Oh
learn to play
yes,
with
oh
it?
yeah. I think he's so. I've always kind of said this, even when we were pushing the buff Shao agenda, which we
Yeah.
still are. Buff Shao, I don't know
I
why he doesn't have a shoulder charge
don't know
yet.
why does he have, where's the mid? I mean, I don't see it. I haven't seen it. Yeah. No.
Mr. Tyler,
Yeah.
please hear me. But
Give him shoulder
yeah,
charge.
man, dude. Yeah,
Uh,
no. Other
uh,
than that, though,
uh,
I think, dude, General Shao has such a beautiful design in this game. His normals are so great. With
mm,
you have buttons like stand two that
yeah,
just
that
give you
stand
that,
two is fucking.
give you that neutral control.
Uh,
You can use it for a slew of things, Prox
uh,
OS,
mm,
etc.
mm,
I think one department he does lack in is the movement department.
mm,
His wave dashes aren't the best in the game. But
mm,
they're not too bad to the point
mm.
where it really hinders the
Henderson.
character.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, dude, his play style definitely meshes with who I am as a player. I'm
Hmm.
a aggressive,
Hmm.
uh, very aggressive, cutthroat style
Hmm.
player, which can be the death of me at times. But
Yeah.
I for sure, aside from just me thinking the character's cool as fuck, I
Huh.
definitely for sure think, ironically, he does mesh with my play style very well.
Awesome, awesome, man. So you were one of the first people I saw on Shao Tremor. Is that still the main team? Is that just kind of, did you like the creativity with that, or how'd that
Yes,
become a
yeah.
thing?
Yeah, that will always be my main team, dude. Funny enough, this was early in the game. This was the season Trimmer came out, dude. I was
Mm,
in a cameo crisis, bro. I
uh,
didn't know what cameo I
mm,
want because for me personally, I'm not too fond of the cameo system. So I always kind of like that was kind of one of my reasons why I was having trouble. Like it was more so like, I mean, you might think it's silly,
mm.
but like I just a lot of like I didn't really like pairing a character with Shao that didn't make sense.
Yeah, like canonically,
Uh,
like yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No, that's
canonically,
fair. That's fair. That's fair.
it's kind of silly, but
Uh,
that's kind of why I was in a character crisis because I
uh,
just didn't know who I wanted to play. Like, I never really needed a
uh,
cameo you know, to excel in the game. So it wasn't about like what was the best cameo for Shao. It was just like, you know, which one did I feel like playing?
Yeah.
And towards the end of MKX, or not towards the end actually, when I went back and revisited MKX over the years, like when 11 was out and things like that, I picked up Trimmer was the character that I picked up, and I played Trimmer mainly through MKX. So, you know, when I was looking for a cameo to pick, Trimmer had just came, and I'm like, dude, forget it. Let me try Trimmer. And dude, I will start labbing the team, and a lot of my concepts I just found just messing around in the lab, bro. Like I've always been a lab rat, bro. Like I'll literally just sit in the lab for hours and just press buttons, like not even just like, you know, not even to any purpose. Like obviously I lab like there are methodical lab sessions, you know, where I'm labbing for a purpose. But sometimes I'll just lose myself and just lab.
Yeah.
And you know, I
I feel
started
that.
finding a lot of cool, like, dude, a lot of the stuff like the hearts of blockables, yeah, the safe, making Axlam safe was really my main thing. Like, and then, you know, on top of that, you could be plus after the magma shot. So dude, there were so many options there to you know, explore the character. And so yeah. Um
It's like launching off the command grab, stuff like that,
yeah, yeah,
like
dude.
comboing
I
the
mean, I'm trying to
overhead and stuff like that. There's a lot of
yeah,
tremor stuff. There's a lot.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
so much stuff that you can get in, that you can, like, you know, there's endless possibilities with Trimmer, bro.
Yeah.
Just because he has those 3 variations,
Yeah.
like I'm still accidentally finding, you know, new setups and new ways to, you know, utilize just the cameo overall. I do, however, think in this recent patch, I think the nerf is kind of a big deal
Yeah.
because
10
yes,
seconds. That's a
yeah,
long time. That's an eternity in a fighting game.
yeah, and you know, especially with the type of style, the newer type of style that people play style that people have in this game. You know, like a lot of times, you know, people are just throwing stuff out, bro. And if I'm like, you know, I could just be trying to, you know, go about my regular Trimmer setup, and he just gets clipped by a stray, and
Yeah.
now I have him for 10 plus seconds, you know, and then I
Yeah.
do get him back, and he gets hit again.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah,
now
no,
he's
like 10
gone
seconds is
for
a very long time in
yeah,
a fighting
yeah.
game.
Definitely. So I
Yeah.
do feel that the nerfs are kind of detrimental, but still a very good cameo. But if we're talking about Shao Trimmer specifically, yes, that is still my main team. And and even before, so I thought that the team was very good even before
He
the
got all the
buffs, the
buffs.
initial
Yeah.
buffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, and I preached this to the Shao group chat too.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm like, this team, bro, like dude, it's gas.
Yeah.
Like, and in that meta too, specifically, I think it was the Chameleon meta, or right after, what was after Chameleon, Sector, when they buffed Sector.
Was it Sector? Yeah, Chameleon was around for like a hot second,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then, because they like gave her like that, like minus 50 health and stuff like that, and she was still broken. I think Sector might have been right after Chameleon.
That was it. That was it. It was Chameleon because Dialogue was, you know, Dialogue was making waves with the Shao Chameleon.
Yep.
And you know, that was kind of like, you know, he kind of set the standard for, you know, the general Shao players, like, you know, this is a cameo. But, you know, like I said, dude, I was in that crisis. I didn't want to play Chameleon. I want to play Trimmer, bro. So I just made it work, and I just started finding, you know, as I was labbing, and even I would, you know, I would find new and think of new ways to, you know, mix up pressure or mix, you know, this variation in. I would be doing that stuff on the fly, bro.
Yeah.
And eventually it just, you know, eventually a lot of it became my you know, my signatures. But yeah, I didn't really see too many. I don't think I saw any general Shao players on Shao Trimmer
Yep.
too
Not
much when
really.
I first started using them. Yeah,
And
and
then
I mean,
when Shao became like super meta, I kind of saw like B Wood and Dialogue stuff to pick him up. Stuff like
well, it
that,
was
but
also because, well, I mean, they always were. Well, see, here's the thing, and I didn't really get to finish the point, but you know, I always thought Trimmer was good before the buffs, but he was just one of those cameos that demanded so much
specific tech.
specific tech, and but you also had to be comfortable with them because there's three variations,
Mm-hmm.
and you can transmute up and
Yeah.
down,
Yeah.
and each
Make everything an
variation
ambush.
has
Yeah.
then you can turn non-ambush attacks into ambush attacks, and
Yeah.
each variation has three different moves,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all different, and they all different give you different utility.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause you have things like the crystalline armor, which
Mm-hmm.
and, I've been through phases. I've been through phases with Trimmer, where I'm leaning towards one variation more than the
Yeah.
other in this. Like there's been times, phases where, I would really just, if I'm putting the axe down, I just opt for crystalline armor.
Mm-hmm.
And there was certain phases where when I put the axe down, I would opt for the bowling ball, so I could so I could get so I can mix in a hard to blockable here and there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many different options that he gives you,
Yeah.
and I just always felt like that's why he was great.
Yeah.
But he demanded so much time and effort. He wasn't an easy cameo to use. He was probably one of the hardest in the
Mm-hmm.
game, used at the highest level, which turned a lot of people away from him.
Yeah. 100%.
Uh, Yeah,
Me
and
included.
then and then he got that initial buff, and that's when my guys, the Shao guys start to jump on it because they would obviously they'd see me doing great with it, and they always knew that it could be good, but Chameleon was just she was that good and she was that much easier to use.
Yeah.
The way they saw it is there's no reason to put myself through this uh vigorous
Execution and stuff like
yeah
that. Yeah.
execution, all like high execution,
Uh,
and he also his cooldowns weren't always like they are now. You
yeah.
used to if you did an ambush, if you did a ambush transmute
Yeah.
attack, then you wouldn't have him for a while,
Yeah.
and
He would.
that also turned a lot of people off from him because
Mm,
just generally you'd have him for one either hard to block situation or
mhm,
ambush armor for
mhm.
one time in a round, and then you don't really have your cameo for
Yeah.
the rest of the round. So that also turned a lot of people off too when you
Yeah.
had cameos like Chameleon, who
Yeah.
you always
You
had
could always
access
had
to.
literally
Yeah,
always had
and
access to.
yeah, and also is also another cameo that gives you so much utility
Mm,
because she has the three variations with
yeah.
Melina Jade and Katana. So she was kind of like the easier version of
Yeah.
Trimmer. But she never had the same type of utility that Trimmer gave you.
Yeah. 100%.
Which I always just found very intriguing.
Mhm.
So, it kind of just had me in this pocket, dude, where I was determined to make the team work.
Yeah.
And then I started winning with it.
Yeah.
I started winning with it, and I was, finding new ways to utilize this and that, and
Hmm.
it just kind of worked out, man.
That's awesome.
There was a time where I pivoted
Mm,
from Trimmer,
mm,
which was in the sector meta.
mm.
Dude, that the sector meta was so grueling initially, bro.
Yeah.
Like it had a lot of people's hopes just
Yeah.
dude. We were just a lot of players were just
Dooming.
demoralized, bro. It was like,
Yeah.
dude, every time I come across sector, I just lose, bro.
Yeah.
So like, there was a time where I said, dude, I'm just gonna fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
And every time I fought, I think my first sector team that I had trouble fighting
Um,
was Raiden sector.
Raiden
Wits.
sector. Wits,
Wits.
yeah. I
My
remember that
Wits.
matchup. I remember I did a podcast with B-Wood and he talked about and different metas and the game has changed a bunch since then, but he was saying that like Raiden was Shao's worst matchup. I'm sure that's changed over time, but yeah.
Yeah, it definitely has changed. I mean, what hasn't changed is it's still a pretty tough matchup.
Mhm.
Just because of the just the type of character Raiden is, he kind of can shut Shao down,
His
and he
pokes and stuff
also
like that are super good. I
yeah his
know.
poke, and he also has he can punish Axe Slam
Mm.
without having to armor up block it,
Mhm.
which automatically makes a matchup bad for Shao. If I
Yeah.
can't get my axe, if my axe slam isn't safe without a cameo, it's a
Yeah.
bad matchup.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you. That's why, in my opinion, I think
You need to be able to get
that
the axe down.
I think Cyrax right now might be his worst matchup
I can see it.
because Cyrax. I think top three bad matchups for Shao would have to be Cyrax, Reiko, Reiko is terrible for Shao.
Yeah.
Dude, that down 4 controls the
and then like you can't really do it because you don't have a projectile, so stars are
Yeah.
kind of just still how they were before.
Yeah, dude, Reiko can really control the pace against Shao for sure. But yeah, Cyrax, Reiko, what was the character we were just talking? Oh, Raiden, Cyrax, Reiko, Raiden, Ghostface. Actually, you know what? I'll put Ghostface above Reiko and Raiden. I'll say Cyrax, Ghostface, and probably Reiko are top 3
worst
bad
matchups for Shao. Interesting.
And then honorable mentions will be Melina, Lau, and
I can see Lau being super annoying.
Yeah, and a few more that are
because like Shao does kind of like struggle like to get in on some characters. That's kind of what I was gonna say with Chameleon, like just having that glaive, you just throw the glaive and you get in.
Yeah.
Like with Tremor, you don't really have that like I'll just throw this out there and that's my free approach, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, Chameleon definitely controls the neutral for sure, which things like glaive allow Shao to get in, and I can make certain things safe with fan lift and things like that. And also Jade gives you the projectile invincibility too.
Yeah, it's super nice.
A little bit, which will help in matchups because he does struggle against zoning. I did think that Sindel was a tough matchup for Shao initially, but it was just because I wasn't really too familiar in that matchup. But as I played the matchup, I don't think Shao. Aside from Sindel, I've always felt like Shao had every tool, even before the buffs. I always felt like Shao had every tool that he needed to overcome
any matchup.
his bad. Yes, it was just about how well as a player you could execute and counter. Honestly, so yeah, man. I think aside from that, Shao is in a great spot right now. Though I won't doom the character too much. I feel like he's great in this current meta specifically. Still has a few problems, but I think General Shao right now is overall in a great spot.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, he got that canceled too. Like, I don't know, so it was like I don't know. I feel like he kind of has everything. Other than a mid. Other than a mid, where's the mid?
Still give me a mid. Yeah, I have a good mid. Just make it a mid. It's a high for some reason.
Yeah. make that mid. Just change the coding and we'll be all good to go.
Yeah, make Ford one a mid.
And then give him shoulder charge and we're chilling. We're chilling.
Shoulder charge. Bro, that's like staple. Like I get this is a young Shao, but like that's staple Shao. And it's coded in the game. You fight if you fight Titan Shao, he has some crazy
including shoulder charge.
Including and projectiles.
Yeah. Actually, so funny enough, I actually am in the General Shao Discord because when the game first came out, I loved MK11 Shao. Like I had a buddy who played Shao and MK11, and I was a Joker main, but the game lasted forever, so just picking up other characters and stuff. And Shao was one of the characters I played a decent amount. So much fun, dude. Like, oh my god, MK11 Shao, the meterless combos, down 4 shoulder, 4-3-2 shoulder on block, bro. I was letting that shoulder rip all the time, bro. So much fun, man. Launching the combo extensions. Oh my god, such a fun character, man. And then this seemed like he obviously super cool and super good. It's just it wasn't the same. He wasn't the chaotic, character that I loved in 11. He's more like kind of like solid, neutral, get the axe down, get your mix-ups going and stuff. Super good, super effective. Maybe I'll put some more time into him, as we kind of get further in. We have like Final Combat coming up, and after that it's kind of like we have online events and stuff like that, but I don't think like the days of it being like super duper serious, I feel like are kind of over. Still, and I also just enjoyed Reptile. Reptile's kind of vibed with him since day one.
Yeah, for sure. I really do love Reptile as a character though. Aside from everything, Reptile is really good. I do enjoy Reptile.
Yeah, I feel like that's a fun matchup to play too, honestly, because like I felt like because Reptile kind of outranges him, so like against like Tremor, I really enjoy it because then it's like I get to control the pace. It's like one of the few matchups where it's like, all right, you have to come to me. But like obviously like Sector or something like that, or like Lau. Fucking I hated playing Shao Lau when that was like a thing, bro. Just throw the hat down, and then it was either hard to blockable or that gave you the approach.
I think last time we were playing, I was exploring the Shao Lau.
Yeah. I was telling, yeah,
Like,
because
what was it?
I think you were playing Tremor, and I was like, I think you should try
Yeah,
Lao. I was like, oh,
yeah,
I think you should try Lao to get the approach.
yeah.
Yeah, so
You were slick killing me with
yeah,
when I was on Trimmer.
yeah,
I had to switch it up.
yeah. Yeah, like Shao Tremor. I actually like. I think Reptile might actually just like outright win that matchup. Like, obviously you
Yeah,
have a harder block and stuff like that, but the fact stand 3 just controls the pace because I outrange stand 2, so you have I can just constantly outspace you, and then I can zone
yeah.
you, stuff like that. You have to use hard commit a lot in a lot of different situations. So it's a fun
You have
matchup for
nothing
sure.
you really have to respect. I have nothing you really have to respect.
Yeah.
Honestly, you can kind of just enforce your game plan.
Hmm.
Honestly, with stand 3, and I kind of have to play around it. So for
Hmm.
sure, I definitely do that.
It's definitely a fun matchup. But as I said, when he uses like Sector or Lao or something like that, then it's like you get those free approaches, and then completely changes
Hmm.
how the matchup's played, which is kind of cool because I know people aren't a big fan of cameos. But it really does allow you to kind of have your own style. Like you have, like you are the general Shao Tremor player. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like if it wasn't for that, like obviously there's obviously a lot of general Shao players. You're still one of the best, but then
yeah,
it would
yeah.
be like you would be one of the general Shaos, but instead of being like you have your own like kind of style. And then he said like
Yeah, with
Dialogue
that
kind of was the
certain.
Dialogue was the
Uh,
chameleon, and B Wood was kind of like B Wood actually I feel like has always
B
played like
Wood,
a bunch of different
B
cameos.
Wood is B Wood is Kano.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
B Wood, funny enough, told me, if I'm correct, that Shao Sector was the team that he played with when he first picked up Shao.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if he mentioned this on the pod when he was on the
Yeah.
podcast, but B Wood was a smoke main at first.
Yeah, he said he played Smoke. He played Reptile too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he played Smoke and Reptile, and
Yeah.
then he moved to Shao Sector,
Yeah.
and that was his team for a bit. And then I think B Wood was Lao. I think B
Yeah.
Wood was Lao
Yeah.
originally.
I remember fighting,
Um,
getting far and by his Chow Lao, honestly, in these brackets.
yeah, Shao Lao, and then he pivoted to Chameleon because,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, that team was just too
Just
good.
Shao
And it
Chameleon was so good. Like honestly, like there was a time where it was like, is there a character that has better synergy with Chameleon than Chow? Like it was like a general thing, and then obviously Peacemaker came out, and then it's the whole
yeah,
thing.
my initial lab session. Funny
Yeah.
enough, excuse me,
Mhm.
my initial lab session with Shao Chameleon, I
Mhm.
said something similar. I'm like, dude, he might have the best synergy with this team because,
Yeah.
like, dude, I found the 4-2 combos
Hmm.
and certain optimals that he had with Glaive
Hmm. Command
and the
grab
Chameleon
combos.
and Lift. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, definitely, dude, he had some crazy synergy. And then he was getting crazy damage too. I'm like, bro,
Hmm. And just
crazy.
having that overhead you can kind of throw out whenever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
So
definitely.
good. Yeah, no,
Armor launcher too.
armored launcher. Yeah, just I mean he has a base armored launcher. It's, just works
Yeah,
unless you hit him, which is
yeah, yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah.
10
Definitely.
frame armored launching, but it's a high.
Yep.
Just duck it. Just
Yeah.
duck it. Why are you standing there?
Or you mash low profiling buttons.
Yeah, true.
If you're loud, you just do down 4 twice. You know that.
You get a full combo. You're getting a full
Yeah,
loud
it's full
combo.
combo, and I look
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I gotta keep him honest though. Keep
Yeah,
him
no,
honest. Mhm.
definitely, for sure.
Yeah, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you, you coming on and taking the time to,
Sure.
talk with us about, Mortal Kombat One and General Shao. Is there anything, that you thought maybe I would ask that we didn't get to, or do you want to give any shout outs to any people? I'll give you the floor for a couple of minutes here.
Um, First and foremost, shout out to my family, my family at EOG, who have made,
Legends Gaming.
who have made, me pursuing my fighting game dream
Mm,
actually, come to fruition,
mm,
because without them, I'm nothing.
mm,
Um, Man, dude, like I said, shout out to you guys. Shout out to all the TOs, dude, all that I like, that put on these events because without the events, I'd also be nothing as well
uh,
because I wouldn't have been able to, not only test my skill against, other pro players, but,
uh,
break, cross those certain thresholds as a player as well.
mm,
So definitely shout out to you guys, man. You do so much for the community and you guys give back so much and, you
mm.
don't really have to.
We don't, all right? I'm
Yeah,
not going to.
shout out two of my KG, well, former KG family members, Bree and Herc. really close with
Oh,
them, and
legends.
they just legends, man, legends in the community,
Yeah.
and they just recently got engaged. So
Shout out
congratulations
to
to
them.
them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, obviously shout out the Shao boys.
Yeah, to the Shao boys, of course.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's pretty
Yeah.
much it. I look forward to keeping the spark alive for Mortal Kombat.
I'm gonna look forward to looking for those bracket runs.
Definitely,
See what's
definitely.
going on.
You will be seeing me soon, a lot more.
Catch No Green in the next top 8. And then these online brackets.
It's in God's will. It's in God's will.
Well, guys, that has been No Green. Thank you so much for coming on. As I said, it was an absolute blast. Shout out to General Shao. Buff General Shao, give him a mid. And
Buff him, give me my mid and shoulder charge.
Yeah, just give him shoulder charge, and I'm there, man. I'm sold. And I'll see you guys at the next video.
Peace.